when we throw combinations, we don't always have to go left, right. We can also throw doubles on the same side. Now, double jab is a thing on its own. Forget about the double jab for now. But every other double punch, when I throw it, I want to reset my hips in between. This is really important. Why? Because if I throw my first punch, I turn my hips, and if I don't reset, where is that power going to come from in the second one? Nowhere, right? So I really need to reset the hips when I throw two punches on the same side. And another thing I need to reset is bring my hand back to the chin. So let's see how it looks. For example, if I want to throw a double cross. As I throw my cross, I extend my right arm, I turn my hip, I pivot on that right foot. Right? I extend my arm completely. And then I hit that well-known rewind button, I come back. But instead of just coming back in my stance, I can go a little bit further. Okay? As I said before, no movement is wasted in boxing. So if I'm going to reset, I might as well get some more power in it. Use it as a spring to bounce back and generate even more power in that second one. So as I bring it back, I come back to my guard and I can go a little bit further to wind up for that second punch. But bear in mind, this wind up only comes from the hips. The hand does not go any further than the chin, and the elbow does not go any further than the wrist. I'm not going to be winding up from here. Hand comes back to the chin, elbow to the wrist, and if I'm winding up, I'm winding only from the hips. So I'm going to use it as a spring, bounce back, and then throw my right punch again. So double cross, cross, I bring it back, I get that springy movement here in the right leg, and then bam, I throw another cross. This doesn't have to be a double cross, any two punches on the same side. If I throw my cross, I can reset, then I can throw a hook, or I can throw an uppercut, can reset, and I can throw a hook. This reset is even more eminent when I'm throwing hooks, because I'm really turning my hips the first time, and then as I bring it back, I can load up even with my upper body, bring that right shoulder back, really be like a spring, like wind myself up, and from here I can push off and throw another hook. But make sure your hand is on the chin. Okay, so from here, the hand doesn't go any further than the chin. Okay, everything else that I continue moving to the left, everything else is just in the hips. So after the first hook, bring my hand back to the chin. I really get that springy movement here, and then I push off, and then I land another hook. And the same goes for double uppercuts. So I throw my first uppercut, I aim my hips up, and then I drop them back down, and then from here, I aim them up again. I can drop as low as I want, as long as I'm not dropping my hands. Okay, so from the first uppercut, hand comes back to the chin, but the hips can still go lower, load up, and then even more power in the second uppercut. Now listen to this. This might sound like something that's a bit more advanced, but if you think about it, this will all come down to the basic principles and why we do what we do. So let's say I want to throw two punches on the same side, but two different punches. For example, a right uppercut and the right hook. So as I throw my right uppercut, I aim my hips up. But my second punch is not going to be an uppercut. So instead of dropping my hips down low to come back with another uppercut, from here I will turn my hips horizontally, because my next punch is a hook. So I need to think in advance, not about the punch that I just threw, but the punch that I want to throw after, right? That's the punch I'm winding up for. So there's no need in dropping my hips if I want to turn horizontally. So after the uppercut, I'm going to come back, and instead of dropping more, I'm going to bring my left shoulder forward and wind up horizontally. And from here, I can generate the power in the hook. Or if I want to do the opposite, if I want to throw a hook and then follow it up with an uppercut, so I'm going to go horizontally here, but then as I come back, I'm going to drop the hips low and load up for that uppercut so I can bring it up. It's all about thinking in advance and understanding the basic mechanics that we've been talking about from the beginning. There are two common mistakes when it comes to double punches. Number one is not resetting the hips. So people come, they throw their hook, and then they try to throw the second hook from here. That's never gonna work. You know that, I know that, everybody knows that. Yet it happens. So throw the hook, reset the hips, throw the hook again, or whichever punch you wanna throw. Even if it's a straight, you still need to reset the hips to be able to throw that punch again. And number two, they reset the hips, but they don't reset the hand, they just let it fly some way behind. So they throw across, and then as they're resetting, it comes somewhere there, so they're loading the hips, but they're letting the right hand fly away, and then they throw it from here. So here, up, up, that's not right either. So, cross, any punch, bring it back, not any further than the chin and the ribs, and everything else is coming from the hips. All the loading is only coming from the hips, no further than the chin.